Here, there we go. All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Land Timber Stream. We're trying something new tonight, trying to audio stream to include that, the Discord audio. So if anybody wants to join along, we got a couple people there now in our audio chat room, which is in the Discord, link below, live stream chat voice channel. So we're just talking some BGP stuff, and somebody's working on some blog, potential blog material for a nice, some BGP stuff. So we'll be posting about that in the, or he'll be posting about that in the Discord soon. Yeah, this wallpaper of the day, guys, is just more stuff on Jupiter. You know, I'm just nerding out on that. This is like Jupiter near infrared, and I don't know where this was sampled from, but there's a link here. The photographer or the person who put it together, is pretty cool stuff. Love it. Got the chat window up. Anybody wants to chat in text or voice, you're welcome to. Finally figured out the audio deal on the Mac with OBS, and I can post that later. I did post a Discord a little bit ago, but bottom line is you have to download a actually, let me see. Oh, that's interesting. Discord puts a little in your menu bar. Is that what it's called up there? It has, when you're in an audio channel and your audio is on, it's got a little blinking white light up there. That's cool. I like that. So you don't forget that you're talking to a bunch of people. You start cursing them out and then realize, oh, I'm in the audio channel. Oops. So that's cool. But basically, you have to install a third-party utility that creates an audio driver, and then you create a separate output device for whatever your desktop audio is, and of course your microphone. And those become a single entry point into OBS. So it's working. Seems to be working. I got this inspiration, by the way. I was watching someone's in the Cisco study group Discord. I was watching someone over there, and you know, there were some great conversations coming out of the audio chats. So I thought, well, let's try that again. Stripe Interface Bridge had helped me with that before when I was on YouTube, and it just wasn't working, but I think I figured that out. So yeah, feel free to join my Discord, and if you want to pipe in or say hello or cry or whatever, that's fine. We're here for you. Written study. So this is what I'm working on. Yesterday I posted about this, but I took the exam and I failed I missed it by I think 2 points or 2 questions. And some of these really caught me off guard, so I studied some of those yesterday. I mean, some of these were very esoteric, I thought. Pseudowire FEC elements. So I'm going to pull that up and show you what I'm talking about. Let's see here. Yeah, I went ahead and enumerated some of these in the drill sheet. I'm going to memorize some of these because that's the only way I'm going to be able to remember this stuff. I won't be labbing anything like this. Probably not even for the lab. I doubt there's any pseudowires in the CCIE lab exam. I could be wrong, but you know, maybe in T-shoot or diagnostic. I don't know. But anyway, there's these FEC elements, pseudowire type, control bit, password info length, group ID. I had no idea what any of those were, so I completely missed that question. So I went back, did some research, and actually in here, now this is not, of course, word for. I don't take this stuff like word for word from the exam. I basically go dig into whatever reference it had, and I find like source information, and then I try to enumerate some of the source information I think would be useful to understand the topic, you know, or that might need to be memorized. So FEC element, and The other one was having to do with troubleshooting NHRP. So of course they always say if you know a protocol, you need to know your show commands. You need to know some of the basic commands to troubleshoot. So I had to look up some information on show IP and HRP detail, and there are a lot of different keywords in that command that I didn't not know about. I don't think I've actually even used this. I have labbed DMVPNs. I got that through that section, the INA workbook, but I don't remember all these details of, show IP and HRP. So I've got those in here now. I'm going to try to learn those. What else there was some more EEM stuff. Like the different descriptors. Let's say if you were building an EEM applet, entry status, exit status, body, name, source, import, environmental must defines, event registry keyword. That's just one of many other components or descriptors, as I call them. So I need to memorize some of those. IKE phase 1 negotiation. So I've done a lot of troubleshooting with site-to-site tunnels, not on routers. I've done it on the ASA. Of course, the same pretty much protocol configurations, right? But what's the difference in main and aggressive mode? Failed that. So I'm going to work on that a little bit. I did some research on that yesterday and enumerated some information in here. I got the STP timers wrong. One of them. The one I always get wrong is max age. I don't know why. It's stuck in my brain that it's 30 seconds. So I'm going to hammer myself on that a few times. I always get hello and forward delay. Max age always gets me. So anyway, that's pretty important for the exam. So anyway, those are my struggles. I didn't feel too bad though, because you got to keep a cool head when you're studying, right? You can't. It can be somewhat of an emotional roller coaster ride, as everybody knows. I think I don't know how many tests I took before I actually started passing, and then I passed maybe 3 times in a row, and then and each time it got better. Well, the last time, yesterday, I failed again, but I felt okay because, like I said, a lot of the areas I failed in were it was definitely finding areas that I'm weak in. So that's good, right? It's better to know that now than 34 days from now. So anyway, that's where I'm at on the written study. I don't know, Tony, how are you feeling, or show IP interface brief? How are you feeling about you care to comment on that, or?
Yeah, sure. Can you hear me?
Yep, can I hear you?
Yeah. I'm going to be hitting the books, doing some studies tonight. I told you kind of before the stream, I'm going to be doing a little research project. That's what I really love the most about this CCIE study process. At least for me, sometimes I get the bug, or the itch where I
Mm-hmm.
really need to dive down deep and figure out and have that eureka moment where you go, oh, that's how something works.
Yes.
That's what really drives me here. A lot of the things you're going to be working on, I don't think I've come across
Really?
yet. Certainly the FEC elements, absolutely not. I haven't seen that before. Um, I haven't seen that in a real test either. So
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that stays away from me. But yeah, some of the other seat. I wanted to comment on your spreadsheet. It's growing.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know what's a. I don't. You've done such a great job of keeping everything so well organized, but it's huge now.
Yeah.
It no longer fits in like one view, one browser view. I don't know of a better way to do that, but it's certainly got a lot of really helpful information. In fact, last week I was using this sheet while I was in a rather boring training, and I was working on the ping MPLS IPv4 codes.
There you go.
I got tagged by those every time, and I always get them wrong. So I just actually I took 2 pieces of paper and just wrote them over and over and over and over. Like an old spelling test when you're in elementary school.
Nice.
And and now I get them. So the resources that you've created have helped me, and I hope they help other people.
Yeah, it takes a long time now to fill it out. It used to take, like, I don't know, 10 minutes. But now I sit down and I do it, and I'm not doing it as much. In fact, I'm skipping over some of the areas that I pretty much I've done like you know, I basically have listed it out so many times that I pretty much have it. But um, yesterday I went through the whole thing, and some of them I just had to leave them blank at the beginning. I was like, this is brand new. I just need to write it over and over, kind of thing. But yeah, it's helpful, and you of course help contribute to it as well. And you know, it's the slog, the memorization part of some of these, you know, which
Yeah,
some of these
absolutely.
should be memorized, you know, I think.
I
Well,
think it's a great way to study, and really an awesome study tool that you've built, and yeah, I don't think there's much to add. I mean, sometimes I go through my note cards and I'm like, is this something that could be added? But it sort of doesn't lend itself to a list. I really like the note cards method. I think we've talked about that on chat before.
uh,
I like writing a fact or a question or something general on one side of a note card, and on the other side, I get to write a whole bunch of sentences and information and facts about it.
yeah, three
So
exploits asking in the chat, is a CCI exam multiple choice or more like OSCP, which are hands-on? Huh. Yeah, go ahead,
it's
Tony.
both. Yeah, I was gonna say it's two tests. So the first test, what Tamer and I are studying for, is the written test, which is about 90 questions. 90, I think they give you a range, 90 to 100 questions. And you get 2 hours to answer, and it's multiple choice. It's pick and place, or I call it drag and drop, or pick and place, however you want to say it. Multiple choice and multiple choice, multiple answer. No labs. And then once you pass the written, then you're qualified for the hands-on lab exam, which is an 8-hour lab um, covering almost, I think, every element of the blueprint. So it's the answer is it's both, and it's 2 exams.
Yep, and the written exam is $400, and it's kind of a, they use it, I guess, to kind of filter out candidates. Um, you know, basically they want to see, all right, does this person, are they even ready to go sit for the actual lab exam, because that's $1,600 a pop, and proctored, and there are 2 places in the U.S. I think you can go and take it. So, and it has a very high failure rate. First time failure rate, from what I understand. They don't release statistics, but trust me, a lot of people fail it. So, and if you fail it, it's not considered that, you know, you're done for. Not by any means. Some people take it 2, 3, 4, 5 times and finally get it. So, you know, it's a struggle for sure. Yeah, good question. The exploit.
There's someone in the Discord who I went to boot camp with, which is Doug. I don't know if anyone's ever had opportunity to meet Doug. He sat for the lab, I think, many times, and he recently sat for it, and he's back home now, and he's going to try it again when he's ready.
Mm-hmm.
But when I met him at the boot camp, he said something that was kind of funny and kind of true. He's like, I don't care how many times you sit for the CCIE, it's still cheaper than a degree from Harvard.
I like that. I hadn't thought about it that way.
Hopefully you can make the same amount of money, but it's cheaper than a degree from Harvard. So, you know,
Yeah, he's taken it. Is it twice this year or once this year so far? And maybe
I'm
late.
not sure.
Yeah, very persistent though. Which is encouraging. Dude friend Kevin Wallace interviewed a proctor, and he divulged average fail rate for CSAT is 3 times. So 3 times, I guess, before you pass. I can see that. One of the persons, thanks you for him. That's interesting. I can definitely understand that. One of the people, one of the meat chunks tonight is from Tom Ammon. And I met him actually through INE Spark group, which is not always a very active group, but early on he kind of took me to the side and we did a phone call. He had just passed, and I think he said he had taken it. This was his fourth time, and he got it on his fourth. Dude for him says he suggests the fail rate for other tests like security and collaboration is much, much higher. Yeah, I've heard that too. Data center, I've heard wireless is really high failure rate. Also, more than the route switch. But yeah, Tom Ammon's a really smart guy. In fact, you'll see that if you see he started blogging somewhat regularly now, which I think is great because he has some really good blogs. And this is one of them. He started talking about some foundations of MPLS label switching. So anyway, that's a great meat chunk. The other one I'm posting here, guys, is I haven't read all of it. I read part of it, but MTU, MSS, GRE, pmtu, some of that is definitely on the written exam for sure. So far, I'm getting most of those right. The pmtu can be a little tricky, I think. I think on that one is, if you get if a packet arrives and it has the DF bit set to 0, what will the router do? Or if it has it set to 1, what will the router do? I kept getting that one wrong. I think I finally figured out, though, what the DF bit means. 0 means that you can fragment. If it's the DF bit is set to 1, do not fragment. But some of those simple things, they take you a while to get it into your head. You know what I mean? Plus, when you're under the pressure of even just at home, taking like this Boson practice exam, and you're at home, I still feel a little bit of pressure. I don't know about you, but I'm like, I really want to pass this, And sometimes that can affect your ability to answer.
Yeah, I'll second that. Definitely, as both of us have been working through practice exams, which is why I had to figure out how to hide the score from myself.
Oh yeah.
Because you get so anxious, as you see your score either climbing to or falling to the pass line. And,
oh yeah.
It can be very anxious, and even though it's just a practice exam, so that's why I like to hide the score for myself as I'm doing it and just get that graded result at the end.
Yeah.
Even though you take these tests at home, you're right. It can be stressful, and for me certainly very anxious. Even though I've been through it a bunch of times, but I've been thinking about that. I need to find another new way to study, I think,
Yeah.
because as you do these practice exams, especially with Boson's been a great resource for me, and I really like the reference links that it has, and explanations are really good. But you end up just sort of training for the questions.
Yeah.
But if you don't get those same questions, which you won't, because Boson is not a dump, then then your chance of passing is much smaller, which is why it's so much more important to really understand the material. And it's a hard target to hit. I was talking with someone today about it, about that I failed the written twice, and they're like, "So what are you going to do?" I'm like, "I don't know. It's like hitting a target in the dark. You never know if you're pointed the right direction,
Right.
or if you're getting close. You just pull the trigger and go."
Now you were pretty close, though. I know. You almost hit the target both times. But yeah, I see what you're saying too about not. I have been relying a lot on the Boson. Now, generally, I'll do a practice exam, and then, like yesterday, I basically did half an exam, but I spent hours essentially studying I feel the same way as you. Like, if I didn't get a question right, it's because, one, I wasn't concentrating and paying enough attention. A couple of those were the case, where it said, which of these is not true about something versus which of these is true about something. I missed a couple of those just out of getting in too much of a hurry. But usually if I miss something, I'm like, okay, I recognize, all right, the key to, passing the real exam is not taking this whole thing over again and hopefully getting that question, but need to go back and dig and understand this concept. Obviously, that's where I'm failing, is I don't understand it. Or there's a key, series of facts and figures that I haven't memorized that I really need to have committed to memory. But in generally, like policing, I'm having trouble with that, and that's probably going to be my topic for tonight. In fact, we're looking at an issue right now, IRL, on a particular interface that is not acting the way we want, and we're looking at the policing. So this is good in a way because it's something that I'm learning that I can actually use right away. But I definitely have a knowledge gap there. Like I have a weakness. So I'm going to work on that probably tonight. Well, yeah, that's about it, folks. I'm probably speaking of studying, hitting it hard, I'm probably about to get right on it. I know you guys are anxious to do the same. Thanks for joining in, show, and others in the stream here. Yep, enjoy it. And thanks a lot, guys, for stopping by the Land Tamer stream. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Have a great night. Have a great study night.